Have you ever wanted to plant flowers but did not want to bend over? Have you looked at the ground and thought, that's a terrible place to be? Have you ever dreamed of a time when you could plant flowers standing up? Ladies and gentlemen, here you go. In this video, I'm going to make your dreams come true. This is Jeff with Corner Creek Woodworking, and today I am the Dream Maker. Thank you. Okay guys, let's let the magic begin. First thing I'm going to do is walk around aimlessly, doing things that I should have already done, like turning on a dust collector. Let my wife know that I'm stupid. And walk back over. This is a fairly simple planter box to make. I've made many of these over the years. I've got quite a few of them thrown around my house at the moment. My wife loves flowers. So, we're going to do another one. This one's going to go out on the edge of our carport. But anyway, you don't care about that. Let's cut some wood. This is going to take about 9 2x4s, I think. Something like that. One piece cut. Check my plans. By the way, there are plans available for this. The link is in the description. I'm going to set up a little stop. I have this little miter station type thing here, but I'm going to rebuild it at some point, but who knows. But until then, I'm just going to mark on it. It's easy to keep up with if I ever use that mark again. This one actually is a little bit different than the ones I've always done. I made this one a little more simple for the video and for the plans. Although you will need a pocket hole jig if you're going to do this. That'll be in the description as well. So, I'm going to double check. Fumble around for a pencil. Mark my line and write on the distance. I didn't do that for the first cut because about 15 inches, 14 and a half is about as small as I can go with that stop. Anything else after that has to just be free-handed. Now to keep from showing you cutting out many pieces, I'll move on. Well, first, this is what happens when you don't pay attention to your own plans. So now everybody knows I'm stupid. I'm gonna move on. Just rip some boards down. Simple. Walk around, make faces. Look at my plans again. Make more stupid faces. And here's all of the pieces together. This is everything you're going to need to make this. I'm a hottie toddy, by the way. So the next thing I'm going to do is drill some pocket holes. There will be lots of pocket holes in this for the base and the shelf. I won't bore you with a lot of those. I'm sure you've seen it before. And that is it. I'm going to start putting the base together. These little clamps make life so much easier. Maybe it's just me, but it took me forever to figure out how to adjust them. Seems like they adjust backwards. But pop them together, put in a few screws, move on. Now we're going to start building. Oops, what is that? I hate these Milwaukee Impact drill set. I'm going to do a review on those. I've always used DeWalt, but I bought these a couple years ago and they're just awful. But anyway, that's for another time. Right now we're going to build a base. That's the bottom section of the planter itself. Now, if it was really necessary for this to be perfect, I would be using clamps and a lot of different things, but it really doesn't. It doesn't need to be perfect at all. Slide the base in. Look a little surprised that it fit perfect the first time. Now we're going to finish up the base, or this section. Walk around. I never realized how much time I spend just walking around aimlessly until I started videoing myself. Gotta figure out a way to do that different. Talking to my wife, grab a clamp, move stuff out of the way again. Now, the reason I'm doing this is I just want to make sure it's nice and tight when I put that last piece on. I don't want it to have to, when I start putting the pocket holes in, I don't want it to have to put any pressure on that, or I just want to make sure everything's good and snug in the beginning. Now, let's move on to the pocket holes. So all I do is just put the pocket holes in, just make it flush with the bottom. And I do realize how ridiculous it is to have that many pocket hole screws in that small of a space. But that's what I did. So now, let's move on. Let's build some legs. I didn't film me making the top section. I should have, but it's basically the same. It's just 4 pieces put together. Oh, Thumbelina. It's 4 pieces put together with deck screws. Now, I do use clamps on this. I want these to be not necessarily perfect, but I want them to be nice. So I'll put a couple clamps on it. Make sure everything's in the right area. Pre-drill some holes. And screw them together. Now, there's my 2 sections of the box. I like to do this upside down. It just makes everything so much easier. Just put the 2 together, take the 4 legs, put a little glue on it, grab my clamp again, set the leg up, put a little pressure on it to hold it in place. Grab another clamp. Realize that it won't fit. And move on. So basically all you want to do here is make sure everything is straight. Pre-drill a hole, put a screw in, rinse and repeat. It's literally that simple. And voila, forelegs. Now we're going to start with the bottom trim. I like to put these on here. It just makes everything look a little beefier. Makes it look a little nicer in my opinion. And most importantly, my wife's opinion. I'll pre-drill a couple holes. Oh yeah, and the battery. One of my batteries had died. And watch it move around. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it'll be close enough. And repeat again. Now I have all 4 pieces on. And at this point it is getting a little heavy. Now this is the shelf. The base here is exactly the same. I just put the trim around it here to make it the same thickness and length, or width and length, as what the base is for the legs. That'll make more sense in just a second. And again, I do realize how ridiculous it is to have that many pocket hole screws in such a small area, but I tend to overdo things a lot. So we're going to put the one in the center first, and then work your way out from there. Just make sure everything's nice and neat. There's my wife looking at the floor. There's my last piece. There's my wife's finger. She said she didn't want to be on camera. Her finger sure does. So now that's done, let's put it in. There we go. I made a little 4-inch spacers, little blocks to set that in. And voila. You can make these without the shelf. You can make them without the pocket holes. You just have to make your boards bigger with little braces on the bottom. I'll probably do one of those, well, I'm sure I will later. But this is what the wife wanted first, so this is what the wife gets. And the same thing. Some pilot holes, some screws. Voila. Now let's set this on the floor. And it's the floor that crooked, so I'm gonna move it around. That's nice and sturdy. This concrete floor is awful. That's neither here nor there. So all that we have left is the trim on the top. Find a pencil with sharpener, sharpen my pencil up. Talk to my wife, see her finger. Now these are just 45-degree cuts. I'm going to cut one. I like to do the long pieces first, get them in place, get the small pieces to match. And I always cut them a little long and then make a few adjustments just to make it like I want it. There's the floor. And like that, the last piece. Put a little glue on it, put it in place. I want to thank you guys for watching this. I really do appreciate it. I hope this does truly make your dreams come true of not getting on the ground. And if you like this video, subscribe. I have more coming. Hit the like button. Leave me a comment. Tell me how it changed your life. It will change my life when I get better drills. that's for another day. And the last screw. A happy dance. And have a good day.